G'day guys, welcome back to another episode of my Barra Patrol. So today we'll be working on wiring, finishing that off, getting the thermo fans working properly or putting them on a switch, getting the intake pipe done as well, get a test drive, get it all hot at operating temperature, then we're getting ready to get dynoed. So that's on this weekend's agenda. Have a look at this. So I'll just use a normal switching relay of like your high beam and that. I looked, it's like a micro relay. So it comes out of one of them. So I've just hooked one of them up. So now, if let's turn the ignition on. I made this box here too. I didn't really film it because I was stuffing around. So enough room, handbrake on and off. And cut that out so we can press the switches still. So we'll just pop in reverse. Look at that. So the light bar is pointing at the ground, so it's not going to be in people's eyes when I'm bloody reversing anything in town. That's it, turned off. But yeah, so there's the exhaust all wrapped up. So it is double wrapped there, a bit triple wrapped down there just for the fuel lines and that. That is it done. Turned out bloody awesome. Turned out unreal. So I've got the second O2 sensor in now. And that there is a 300mm extending harness. But it's for a blue plug, and these ones are a bit cheaper, for $100 cheaper. So we're just gonna lob them off. So it's still only a 4-pin thing, so I'll lob them off, put that in and start it, see how much better it runs. But yeah, so I started, and there's the exhaust leak there, just fixed it because the flange wasn't meting up properly. I am putting a 7 PSI spring in it now because the 3, well, it's about a 5 with the boost T, so it'd be about a 10 to 9-ish with the 7 pound. So you're watching the last episodes. If you haven't, highly go recommend and watch. So this tool just goes on there, just like that. Bang it across, undo that, hold pressure on that. We'll undo this line. So, yep, replace the red spring, so it's 3 PSI on there now, and we'll just slop the green one in there. That's it, simple as. So yeah, this is box or all intake pipe. So we'll get started onto making that. So it's going to come out front of the turbo, 90 across here. It's going to go down, under that, back up into the cycle there. So it's going to be pretty complex over there, but we'll get it done. Right, yeah, so I've cut probably, give or take, 2-3 inches off the end of the pipe. So probably about that much. That's touching up onto the turbo, because in the front of the turbo you've seen them holes there to suppress the dose and like not make it dose really, but we want this thing to dose. So pushed all the way against up, so half cuts them holes off. Got room there, doesn't hit the alternator, and it's just rest on that. I probably will make it so it rests on that, then I might just make it so it welds to that too. The next step, we've got to go across here, then down, then under. So that's the next step. Rightio, it is raining at the moment, so bear with me. So this is a 180 mandrel bend. So I'm going to chop it right in half so I can flip that the other way, or so it's pretty much doing an S, so I can go up and under all that manifold in that. So we'll find the center and then we'll chop him. Oh yeah, so they were like that. They've cut that in half, And that last clip, you'll see me cut that down a fair bit. So now, that there, just going to butt up to that. A lot cleaner though. So that's just going to go down there like that. Heaps of room. So, yeah. Alright, it's been a couple of hours now. So that's where it's going to sit, in there. See them holes. Got to run. It's got a clamp space through it. So it runs along, comes down. Down under. So I'm not going to weld all that in together because it'll be just a pain to get in and then even out. So I'm going to put a joiner down here so it gives it a bit more give and flex when the motor torques over and that. So there's going to be a joiner there, so it comes out real nice, clears everything. So you get the basic concept how it's going to be. I've just put tape around it to hold it all together because I didn't want to tack it, then I have to move it. So yeah, so I'll try to get them a bit closer and we'll see how we go. Rightio, so this is the intake done. If you want anything, go on TI Performance or Raceworks, get some of their stuff. I highly recommend, good quality. So that is solid. Clearance. Don't mind the welds. This comes down, loops, backs up, and it's got these three. So you got your purge valve from your charcoal canister, and the other one from charcoal canister, and that's your tappet cover breather. So they're both joined for T-piece, comes down, in through the guard, back out into there. So all that has to go back in front of the, or in the intake, but behind the pod filter. Can't be like in the snorkel itself because then it can evaporate at the top. Rightio, so that last clip you would have seen all the intake pipe done. It's actually the next day now. So I'm replacing all the plugs because read some stuff on a forum page. The iridium plugs are shit really for boost and temperature. So I've gapped them plugs and they're failing, hence why it doesn't want to rev anymore. So I've gone on the forums, see what people reckon, and what I've used in the past is NGK BKR 6E-11s. So they're a bit hotter plug, but they're so much better quality and they're a bit cheaper too. Don't know why, but NGK is the go if you're running boost, or even if you replace them in your NA car. I highly recommend them. So we'll show you how to gap these properly, because with boost, so that there, we'll gap that in a minute and show you how to do it. But with boost, you have to close the gap so the boost air doesn't come in and blow the spark out, because it will, and it'll make a misfire. Then that's not real good for high RPM and boost motors anyway. So we'll sort this out. Right, yeah, so just up on the wall here. I forgot my tripod and all that bloody shit. Brother's cruising in the background. Might do a rig rundown on that one day when he finishes it. So I got the spark plug here, right? So this is a gapping coin. You buy on there bloody $1 from Super Cheap. So you go in, run it around. Oh, we'll go metric side, not too good imperial. So it is 1.2 millimeters. We got to go down to 0.8 millimeters. So we'll put it down to 0.8 mil. So how you do that? Just tap on that a little bit, it'll go down. Then you just use the coin to open him back up to where to get it. So yeah, so that's all the plugs done, gapped to 0.8 mil. So, and I cannot stress either, you can't just buy spark plugs and chuck it in your motor. For anything, you need to gap them. to the manufacturer's spec. So just jump on Google, find the exact same as your car, your motor, everything, and go to the spec on that. Because if you don't, you probably use too much fuel, or you'll have a misfire because the spark jumps too big. But always go through your manufacturer's book and get it right the first time. I do have the new spark plugs in and gapped, so I'm going to take it for a drive, see what it sounds like, see if it's a bit better. Then I will be ripping the rail back out and putting them 1000ccs in so it can get tuned. So I'll show you what I've done on the inside here as well. Probably a bit dark. So all the wiring is now all conduited and up out of the way. It's a bit neater. I do have some stuff coming for that box too. So going on the passenger side. So a little bit of mess still, but a lot cleaned up. So, and we do have the glove box back in, and the UHF is back in there. So I've got the UHF in there, and I've drilled a hole in the bottom, so that just comes out the bottom, reaches over to me, and it's just a bit neater there. So I'm mucking around with the ECU and fuse box. So I'm thinking about doing like that. ECU there or underneath it, and the relay, the fuse box on top. Still don't know, because they have to be pretty close together, because we've made the harness pretty short. But other than that, I still need to figure out where to put the OBD. So I might run it up, put it under there, maybe with a little bracket, so you can just plug straight onto it. Don't know yet, or I'm going to put it in the glove box. But I'll figure that out. Rightio, so I've got the ECU in there, the old bracket, so I'm going to put the fuse box mounted on there. Then I might make a kick panel so no one kicks the fuse box. So they reach for the engine harness, but that one won't. So all I need to do is to cut the grounds and extend them. Then it'll reach to the ECU, and that's all done. Now I'm just going to put that there, clean all that up, and maybe make a kick panel for it. But yeah. Rightio, it's just gonna let me steering wheel. So I was down here having a drive, just hearing what the turbo sounds for the snorkel. If it's loud, it is what it is, I'm not changing it. So hopefully it sounds bloody smick. Won't be really getting into boost, so I have put that bigger spring in, as you would have seen. We'll hear what it sounds like. Holy, that sounds mint. Rightio, so the fans are not on. Just gotta come in here now, switch that. Here, the fans are on. So that's the fan switch there now, so I can turn it off when I go through river crossings or bog holes, so the water doesn't destroy the fans. So if you go through water and they're spinning flat out, it'll just obliterate the blades. So that's a tick in my box. And we've half mounted the ECU and fuse box down there. So I'm just going to trim that cover there. Rightio. There's the wiring done. So you look down, you can see a bit. You can see the ECU there. Just cut the floor out, covered that out with a bit of mat. But yeah, still got stuff coming to wrap that. That is it. So we can pop that off, get the fuses, and that there is the OBD port. So I'm just gonna have that tucked up in there real nice. Then if I need it, I can just pull it out and tuck it back up. So I don't really want it hanging off there, because you'll bash your knees on it. Not real pleasant. Rightio, so there's just some stockies that we just had laying around off a GU patrol. Look a bit silly, but that's what the tuner wanted, so that's what we're giving him. So the car is pretty well done. I did add this, I'm putting the seat cover on now. I finished the console, so it's all nice, suede, diamond stitched. Looks bloody unreal, came out mint. Fridge is back in there, solid. It's got the computer. That's it, interior is done, so I'm just putting that top part of the seat cover on. And that's done. Rest of the seat cover there. I did re-weld the swing away because it did crack and it was pretty well about to fall off. Not ideal. So I gave the car a good old clean, spotless. So we're not taking that with us, all that. So we're taking all the paperwork, all the schematics and everything we've done, 1000cc injectors because he doesn't want them in yet, and a turbo map sensor. So I'm just going to finish the seat and that here now, and then the car is ready and done for the dyno, and hopefully we can get 400 odd horsepower out of it. I'll be happy with 350, but if we get 400, we'll get 400. Them rods are safed up to about 450. Anything over that, you fuck around and find out, honestly. It'll come out the side. So I'm going to try to run a bit safer on about 400 wheel horsepower. It'd be about 300 kilowatt is about 402 horsepower. So we're aiming to get that. If we don't get it, not really a big worry. But 350, I'll be happy too. That's plenty in a fucking 3-ton car on 35s, big lift, and all the flex in the world. So that's it for today's episode. Behind me, we are building a car trailer to haul that big thing down to Grafton. That's where we're going, engineer tuning. Hopefully you'll let us do some videoing in there. So building a full car trailer because our other one kinked and pretty well snapped. Not ideal, and it wasn't wide enough. Our 200 series and the Patrol and my brother's 105 wouldn't fit on our old car trailer. It was too skinny. So we're making the mud guards that you can run over them and have that bloody extra 400 to 500 mil width of the trailer. So I'm gonna get stuck into this. Tuning's next week. Let's get it. Like and subscribe will help me out plenty, and see you in the next one. 400 horsepower, here we come.